Hello, I'm Fire Scratch.
This is Pocket Dinosaur.
Welcome back to 16-Bit Gaming. This is part 3 of the jump scare tutorial. This one has a lot more to it, I would say. We are going to actually show you how to make, if we remember last week, the statue coming at us and scaring us. We're going to show you how to make that type of statue or jump scare happen. And also, this time we'll trigger a game over screen, as well as sound and audio to do it.
Just to make it extra spooky scary.
Of course, yes. So I have a new place set up here, a new map, just like 2 places to set up. 2 rooms, back and forth, nothing super in-depth to it.
Simple teleportation between the two.
Yeah, so we'll do in the second room where the character has to walk in the room to trigger the jump scare like normal. We'll set the character or the evil villain here. I'm making a new event in the event folder. Let's name it Spooky. Image. We'll see a nice scary image out of many monsters, or big monster. That's pretty cool looking. Regular sprites. We'll use this kind of guy, kind of matches the terrain. But since we want him to face towards a character toward the right, we'll have him face this way. And we can have his eyes kind of like any way we wanted to look up or down with the way his animation style is. Let's choose this one. We'll do his same as character, so he can touch us, as well as player touch of it.
Yeah. For right now, we use player touch. We'll give you a reason why. We're actually going to end up using event touch later, but we're going to use player touch for now just to show you a little something.
All right, we'll do that, and we need to make a separate event somewhere that no one can touch here, so it can actually work and trigger the movement like we told you last time about the statue and how that worked. Spooky control, we'll name this one.
Now the idea here is that this is the actual controller. This is what actually controls the monster, because if the monster tries to move itself continuously, it could potentially delete itself out of existence.
Yes, of course.
Now we also want to go with the trigger. It's fine to keep the priority below the character. It doesn't matter. They're not going to touch it anyway. We want to make sure you have it run parallel. From there, we go to Contents. We start adding the actual meat of the monster. So we create a new. Now, just to keep things simple, we're going to go to the first tab. We're just going to show some text. When you first enter the room, the monster is going to go roar and be all scary.
Yes, of course. And make sure we put the face here of the monster so you can see who's talking to you. And there's one that matches perfectly right here. Okay, let me make sure we apply this.
Now, right now what we have is you enter inside the room and the monster goes roar. And that's it for right now. That's basically it. Now, in addition to this, we also want to make sure that we have some kind of interesting sound effect to go with it.
Great.
Now, the idea is this monster is going to eventually be charging you, and we want it to be scary. So we're going to add a sound effect right beneath where it goes roar.
Sound effects should be on the
second tab.
Second tab, right. Second tab, an audio and video. It'll be play SE, which is sound effect.
Now, the BG that you saw there previously was background music, which can be useful if you're using some sort of controller to change the background music if some sort of horrific thing happens. It'd be very easy for us to do something like that there, but for now we're not going to. We're going to use the simple sound effect Scream, which is going to be a very spooky and scary sound. Unfortunately, it sounds a bit too, well,
high-pitched, let's tell you that. It'll be hysterical because our person will be laughing knowing that a spooky fire demon is screaming like a little girl. So we can change the pitch up or...
Now, we don't want to pitch it down too much. Around 80 should be good. This prevents it from being too long. We can also change where the sound is coming from, the left or the right speaker, if we want something to be particularly tickling one ear and then maybe having some other sound effect in the other.
We'll just do that for now.
Now we're actually going to have the movement
of the creature. Yes, we need the movement to happen after the scream. This is basically this whole content section is quote-unquote code. The code already exists and is already completely done with RPG Maker, fortunately, but you have to go in and see what you want to apply like we're doing here. So for the movement speed, like we did last time, we go to the...
So we're going to go to the first
tab.
Now, lots and lots of options here. We could potentially simply move the player or the event by teleporting it. In fact, we're actually going to use the second tab here. We don't want to use flow control. We have that option, but we're just not going to use it for right now. We're going to go with set movement route. Now, the first thing we want to do is make sure that our creature is moving at top speed. So we want to change the speed on this creature.
Too high.
Yes, to highest possible frequency, and then also the highest possible speed. This will make sure that it blazes across the screen like, well, a demon out of hell. After that, we want to just have it move right a whole bunch. Just a whole lot of move right. Just move right, nothing but move right. Obviously, it's going to go flying off the screen eventually, but that's fine. We don't really care. After that, that's basically our event. Now let's give it a test and see how it works.
Yes. See how fast that frequency goes. And lucky for you, I disabled the opening menu's sound effect, as we want to actually hear the scream instead of hear this blaring, annoying sound that comes out automatically. And that works. Alright, let's go this way. Let's see what happens this way. Apparently, this happened.
Now, what exactly happened?
I ran like a little girl.
It's crazy. It's wild. Now, the big thing that we did here, if we go back into the event, in map 2, we'll see that, in fact, we moved the player, not the creature. So if we reopen this event, and edit it, we will see that we are moving the player, not the spooky. Just a little thing we wanted to show you, just to make it clear. We can have the player run like a girl if we want to, or we can actually have the creature move.
And the frequency is a lightning speed where you couldn't see anything, so we'll just get rid of that for now. The speed should just do just fine as it is.
You definitely saw how fast it could go.
Yeah, I literally teleported between rooms. That's how scared I was. I will apply this. This will be good. Let's try it this time and see how well that works. Alrighty, that's shaking our legs. Let's go see what that is.
Oh no!
And as you can see, it'll happen again and again because I can move and go back and forth without any consequence to it. But now we're going to add a consequence to it. So if the monster can touch us, it'll trigger the game over screen. That's how I do that.
Now, the basic way to do this, we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of this event. We're going to go all the way to the bottom, and we're going to add a new event. Now, over in the third tab, under Scene Controls, we have Game Over.
And that's basically it. It's already programmed for us to have music, sound effect, as well as a trigger and a screen to see that's Game Over. Let's just do that and see what happens.
Now, Fire Scratch,
Yes.
When you go into this room, I'm going to want you to try to move north as fast as possible. Get out of the way of the monster. Try not to die.
Well, I'll do what I can. I mean, he'll move pretty... I was shaken a few times ago.
I know, it's crazy.
Let's try it. Uh-oh.
Now, we can see that we avoided the creature, and we didn't get a game over screen, which is very strange. It makes sense that the creature touched us, but, uh-oh, we're still not getting the game over screen. How weird. Why is this happening? Well, there's actually a pretty clear explanation. You see, we put the game over inside of the controller, which is fine, but that doesn't actually cause the game to go over for any reason at all.
We want to put it on Spooky itself because he's the one that is going to touch us. And he's the one that's coming at us, not the one that's moving us. It's weird how it balances it out, but eventually RPG Maker has his own little quirks about it, so we want him to have the game over sequence. So we'll just put that in the contents. Same way. Let's try that one more time now. Yes, and I'm doing all this on purpose.
Absolutely.
Of course. Alright, let's try it again. To our death.
Oh no, it's coming! Oh, no game over. Huh.
I move at it, and it then triggers the scene.
How strange. Now, why could this have happened? Now, you remember at the very beginning, we had Spooky have player touch as his trigger.
I would have to touch him to physically trigger the death instead of him touch me, which means event touch is how it happens instead of me enacting my death, which would never happen in a horror game.
Exactly.
So that would actually trigger it, as well as automatically bring us back to the title menu, because if you see in Game Over, it says return to title screen. That's redundant. We tested it out. You don't have to put that also in the code. It'll just automatically do that for you. Alright, save that and try it one more time and see what we got now. I think this should be the full and complete jump scare project. Alright.
Oh no, game over.
Wasn't quick enough, guys.
So spooky, so scary.
So as you can see, it's easy to dodge in general, that character. But if you don't know what you're going into, that person will definitely game over sequence one of her few times. However, you can always disable the player movement, like I have had a few times with a statue, in order to give more of that scare, like, oh gosh, I can't move, my controls aren't working until the last second, get out the door. Anything you want or see you can do, you just have to figure it out and just look online or do tutorials like with us, that's what we're doing.
The other option, of course, is to have a whole bunch of monsters, have them follow the player instead of simply charge in one direction, etc., etc.
Or have like a maze of walking through on different, like what will blow up or what monster might pop out, just like any maze of puzzle.
Exactly.
So for today, that's it for the jump scare. We'll probably continue it with triggers and other things like that of a similar nature. As for now, this is Fire Scratch.
And this is Baka Dinosaur.
I'll see you guys later.